communications and negotiations. So we'll be in recess until someone has an announcement for me.
Thank you, Judge.
Those are the calendars, and then she also.
So you definitely, I'm just making sure.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
But this is totally, it's
laying drag zigzag statute. The laying drag and zigzag statute, he's charged with that, but the state doesn't have any evidence to go forward with that. So
Okay.
what we're left with is a stop sign violation and he's refused the plea offer.
We're also left with the basic rules too fast for conditions. I believe. Our offer was to null cross the racing. He was offered a basic rules plea and $250 fine. Our officer's on call, so I believe Mr. Birch is reaching out to him now.
He's also been offered community service in lieu of the fine, but chooses to proceed with a trial, Your Honor.
Okay. We'll be with you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Was the too fast for conditions? What?
My calendar says the zigzag lane drags, basic rules too fast for conditions and failure to obey stop sign.
Okay, and so the lane drags is going to be null prost, and we're proceeding on the other two. Were those accused or they're just citations?
They were accused, I believe, let me that.
Okay. And if they were, I'll need a copy of those accusations.
Okay. So it's not like. Yeah. Yeah.
I left my charger in here for all of us to use.
Yes, if you need to take it back, you can. I was like, this has to be one of.
No, I'm just gonna keep them all around, one in the office, one at home, one here.
Oh, I swept it real quick. So I didn't put it-
And Ms. Rosenhofer, has Mr. Charles decided what you all are going to do this afternoon?
Yes, Your Honor, he will be tendering a negotiated plea. We're just working on the paperwork right now. And then he and I are gonna go over it in the hallway.
Okay, thank you.
Judge.
Court will be in recess until someone's ready to proceed.
Trial.
Yeah.
See, Ms. Greenhouse, so we, thank you. Let's see, this is, case 21 CR 006829F, State versus Mr. Jordan Charles. It's my understanding that there's going to, be a plea in this matter. Mr. Charles, if you can raise your right hand for me, please. Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you can place your hand down. Thank you, sir. Ms. Waldrop?
Yes, Judge. With respect to this case before you, the defendant will be pleading. This is a negotiation.
Excuse me, Your Honor. I'm just having a little trouble hearing Miss Waldrop.
Okay, they've
Sorry
turned the
about
mic on, Ms. Greenhouse. Let's see. if
Thank you.
Do better, okay?
Yes. This is a negotiated plea. And pursuant to that, the sentence that we did come to an agreement on is on count 1, cruelty to animals, 12 months for the defendant to do a book and release in the Fulton County Jail, to pay a $1,000 fine, complete the BARC, that's BARC, Animal Cruelty Online Course, 8 weeks anger management, to have a mental health evaluation and any treatment deemed necessary, as well as have no animal ownership, no animals in his household whatsoever for that term of probation. With respect to count 2, cruelty to animals, we did agree. I apologize, Judge. We did agree to 12 months with the defendant to have no animal ownership or animals in his household, and that is to run concurrent with count 1. With respect to count 3, cruelty to animals, we did agree to 12 months for the defendant to do a book and release through the Fulton County Jail, a $1,000 fine, complete the BARC Animal Cruelty Online Course, 8 weeks anger management, a mental health evaluation, and any treatment deemed necessary, as well as have no animal ownership or animals in the household for the duration of that period. And that is to run consecutive to count 1. And on count 4, cruelty to animals, we did agree to 12 months with the defendant to have no animals in his household or own any animals for the duration of that period. And that is to run concurrent with count 3. Counsel, do you stipulate to a factual basis, venue, and identification for purposes of the plea?
Yes, we do.
So it's 12 months total?
No, Your Honor, it is 24 months
24
total.
months total.
Count 3 is to run consecutive to count 1, and they're both 12 months each. And then counts 2 and 4 run concurrent
Okay.
with 1 and 3
Okay.
respectively.
And it's a total of a $2,000 fine?
That is correct.
Okay. As far as and I take it 1 mental health evaluation,
Correct.
and do you want him to do 8 weeks of anger management or 16 weeks?
No, Judge, so that everything with the exception of the fine will only need to be done once in order to satisfy the conditions for both sentences.
Okay, I just wanted to be clear.
The fine is the only thing that will need to be paid twice for a total of $2,000.
Okay, that was your understanding?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, all right, thank you, Ms. Waldrop.
Thank you, Judge.
President Hoover.
The only other thing we'd ask for, Judge, are that the probation be allowed to go non-reporting after the completion of those conditions. Mr. Charles does reside in the state of Florida, and he understands that, well, with the court's permission, he'd like to do a phone-in or mail-in form of probation. We understand the state wants him to be on probation for that full 24 months, but with the classes he's gonna have to pay for and the fines, we're at least asking that he not also have to pay every single month of probation.
Okay,
And Judge, to address non-reporting, I'll defer to the court on that. I just want to make it clear that the defendant is to own no animals and have no animals in his household for this period of probation. With respect to the dog that was impounded, Big Mo, we did not discuss this. But I do want to include in the order that that dog be surrendered. It's already been impounded. He does not have the dog. And so I just want to make clear that he's unable to get that dog.
well, if he's not,
Dog alive. I'm sorry, Your Honor?
No, I'm just saying that if he's not allowed to have animals for that period of time, that would include all animals, right? And
I
that would
just wanted
include,
to make sure, and I'd like to be able to put that in the order as well.
Judge, if the dog is still living, I think Mr. Charles has already surrendered ownership.
I surrendered the dog 3 years ago, Your Honor.
okay, all right, so there's no
I just
issue,
wanna
and
make sure.
we'll include that. As far as non-reporting, that's fine with me. As far as reporting by phone, that's fine with me, as long as it's fine with probation. And he understands that he will still be on probation. You won't have to report and you won't have to pay the fine. So that's fine with the court. Okay.
So just to clarify, Judge, is that non-reporting for the entirety of probation or just after he
No,
completes?
just after he completes
Okay.
he'll have to report, I guess, by phone or however they choose to do it until he completes all the terms. Once he gets the terms complete, then it can go to a non-reporting status.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay? You clear on that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything further, Ms. Rosenhuber?
No, Your Honor, we would just ask that the court accept the negotiated agreement.
Okay.
And
Ms.
Judge, I
Walker?
do think we just need to address when it is that he'll turn himself into Fulton County Jail to execute that book and release.
Okay, have you all discussed that?
We have, Your Honor. Mr. Charles does have a flight out at 10 p.m. this evening. He understands that he may have to push it out because he has no immediate plans of returning to the state of Georgia. But we have discussed that. It has been a financial hardship, but at this point, I think he's ready to accept responsibility and move forward.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure if you'll make a 10 o'clock flight tonight, especially if there was changeovers and the problems that we're having because of the systems with the jail. It might take longer, but and I'm not sure if it's easier to do it in the morning versus doing it in the evening. But whatever his pleasure is, if he wants to, what time is it? It'll be 3 o'clock before he gets out of here, 4 o'clock before he gets to. Right. So either way, you'll probably have to change your flight. It's what I'm saying.
I understand, Judge. Okay.
Okay. Anything further?
No, Your Honor, did you want to say anything to the judge?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Charles, it's my understanding that in case 21 CR 006829F, you wish to plead guilty to 4 counts of cruelty to animals. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this afternoon?
No, Your Honor.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with her representation?
Yes, Your Honor.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on these charges, and that by pleading guilty to them, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes, Your Honor.
Has anyone forced you or coerced you to plead guilty?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, I'll accept the plea as negotiated and with the terms as negotiated. Has he already received where he needs to report into probation?
We'll get that, Judge. We did just submit the paperwork, so once we have a copy of it, he'll have that address.
Okay,
Judge, it can be phone in or mail in as long as that's okay with probation, right?
that's fine with me, yes. Let's see if we can get him that as quickly as possible so that he can be on his way. It's my understanding that he's going straight to the jail after you leave here. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, all right. All right, good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
What do you want?
That's fine.
Yes, I signed everything.
For the judge.
Excuse me, Your Honor. I just wanted to double check that the defense attorney is Miss Rosenhuber. I believe I
Yes.
heard her name mentioned. Okay, thank you.
You could do that there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You may stick around. I don't know how book and release works, but I want to send it on his way to get all. So if y'all don't mind, I don't know if it's gonna be right away. I'm sure they won't have it in.
We're gonna have to, send this.
Because normally what we do,
Send
we'll
it.
email.
Oh, you'll send it right to the chair, like by.
They're not going to send it.
Okay, I gotcha. Thank you.
Get somebody.
They're gonna email it right over. But this is the probation form and you have to go here once. And Judge, is there any requirement of when he has to report to probation for the first time?
I just asked people to do it within the first 2 weeks or so.
Okay, is that doable? Okay. And then after that, you should be able to do phone or mail in, okay? You got any questions for me? Okay, good luck.
It's- it-
Bring the whole
Yes.
food.
Your Honor, which jail do I need to go to?
Do we have directions?
901 Rice Street.
It's the Rice Street Jail?
Yes, do you know where that is?
Yes, sir. In reality, do you think that I'll be in there for over 24 hours? Or I know whether to like book a proper flight, like, or,
Because they are well,
and I also,
the system, with the system where it is and they're kind
Mhm.
of writing everything.
yeah, I know how the log is going right now. Yeah, my cousin, she works for the DA, so I understand.
Okay, so I'm not.
Reason I'm asking is because I run a detailing business down in South Florida, so I'm just trying to make sure I can either get there. I know what day I need to get there. I know who to assign, what jobs while I'm not away
Okay.
or while I'm away.
And I can't tell you if it will be better to go now and then having shift change and then, and you have everyone that will, we have other courts that are going on. They'll be processing a lot of people in and out. Mostly in the evening time. If you went first thing in the morning, I'm not sure if that would be better, but it might be. Right, it might be quicker if you went first thing in the morning as opposed to now when everyone's getting processed in and out, so.
We should be ready to change in about 45 minutes.
Right, so it might be quicker just to go in the morning and have your flight around, knowing that. So if you get a flight for what's today, first thing Friday morning or something like that, you'll be sure to make it. But that's up to you.
Okay, and I know we just discussed it now, but in terms of another date, am I able to, I have to do it now that we've arranged that?
I mean, we're still
Right.
here, so if you want
Okay.
to,
What would the option be for that then in terms of dates, or do I choose the date, or how would I go about that if I decided to come back? Just because when I came traveling this time around, I wasn't expecting to have to be booked and released or anything like that. As far as I knew that it would be something that if I were to be sentenced, then I would be able to arrange my affairs, like in the event that I would be able to,
We can arrange it. I
And
think
when
the
do you
judge is
think-
open to that. So when would you be able to come back in? Maybe it can be the same time you sign up for probation.
if I look at my calendar.
Yeah, you could turn your phone on.
Okay, and while you do that, where is Miss Shelley? Is she ready to proceed on this?
She's talking to her
Oh,
client.
okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Another reason why I'm not trying to, I guess, do it today is tomorrow's my grandfather's 90th birthday and my mother's
Okay.
birthday as well. So,
Happy birthday to them both.
thank you.
Wish I can make it
Just to
to-
sign up in person for probation anyway, and they're not gonna have it together. It's a lot. It's just a lot. I never know how much you can. Okay. great.
And he has received how he would have set out.
You can have.
And it won't take that long. No,
You want-
And I
Or do you want to
visited.
leave?
But I think they do it in a matter of
Yeah.
hours,
Uh,
couple hours.
Maybe, I really don't, even with that.
maybe we can get this right.
It's
Right.
Yeah, I don't have a paper. That's just the discovery and accusations. But we can go forward.
Okay.
That they're done. So whenever you're ready.
Yeah, we're ready. We're going non-negotiated, even though they.
We make an announcement.
Yes, Miss Shelley.
Good afternoon, Judge. Mr. Adams is ready to take a plea. We're working on the paperwork.
Okay, very good.
It'll be non-negotiated.
Okay.
Thank you.
Do I do paperwork for no? Is that what you're trying to court?
Hmm.
Well, she said you had.
Okay, just get it out of the way, I understand. Good luck to yourself.
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Does he have that or
He should have that. Mr. Randolph, Mr. Randolph?
Mr. Randolph? Do you have a plea paperwork that you could print, like a hard copy you could print
Yeah.
for a non-negotiated? Is it the same form?
Oh, you mean like a blank one?
Yes, technically, my laptop isn't working at all.
A plea.
Oh,
A blank.
So he's
plea
reporting.
paperwork.
That's what he just said.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, he's on his way.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I just didn't hear. She said.
or we could just,
Uh,
go ahead and DocuSign it as, and then initial it when we print it up.
Right, but I have to send that to your email.
I know,
So you need your laptop for that.
I know. I'm trying to.
So I
think
don't
of a workaround.
know. We
Yeah.
can do that without your laptop. I think he can print, I think he can.
Do you have any, well, if you, do you have paperwork that you can just send to him?
Well, I would send it to Miss Shelley, but she doesn't have her laptop with her.
You could send it to me, I could print it and give it to her.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. we could
Okay.
do it. Paper ones. Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you, Judge. It's been a pleasure.
Whoa.
Yes.
Whoa, no, 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 no. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I have already,
That's why I let out.
yeah, come around.
Yeah, I left it.
That's not-
Yeah.
One at home, one here, one at the office.
We'll be in recess.
Okay.
Yeah, we're trying to get that done now. Yeah, that's why it's speedy.
So,
Need to be expedient.
so judge and counsel. So what I'm doing is I'm receiving it's called a incarceration and release form.
Okay.
So when I receive it, I can send it to y'all and y'all can doctor it up. And then I just sign off and then that way we can have that all in. So if it's supposed to be a look and release thing, it's a order. But I'm sending it to y'all when I get it. Yeah. Okay. So it's Katrina Lewis, she's gonna send it to me.
Okay.
It's 2 count.
Is what?
He has a book and release on count 3 and on count 1.
Thank you so much.
See. I'm gonna give it to you. Same.
Real quick, Mr. Burge, doesn't basic rules.
Okay, let's see, the
That's
court
one-
calls the
Basic Rule
case
2009
of
Is one charge
Okay.
together.
Just make it.
So if you look at,
the state versus Raphael Adams, case 22 CR 007132.
Do you want to stay right there? Yes, that way I can see the judge and get court for you.
That's fine, as long,
I can just, yeah, it's a, yeah.
make sure your mic is on.
That's fine.
Don't touch this.
Good afternoon, Mr. Adams. Can you raise your right hand for me, sir? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can place your hand down. Thank you.
yes, Your Honor, if this case had gone forward to trial, the state would expect the evidence to show that on November 23rd, 2019, Atlanta Police Department Officer Shay Schaefer, who's here with us in court today, was patrolling in the Westlake neighborhood of Atlanta, Georgia, approximately in the 4 o'clock a.m. hour that evening, or excuse me, that morning. And he was stopped in a neighborhood on uniform traffic patrol, and he saw Mr. Adams blow through a stop sign at the intersection of Callaway and Westlake. And he and I might also add that it was a very wet and rainy evening or morning that day. And so Mr. Adams initiated a traffic stop for the failure to obey stop sign, as well as a basic rules violation as driving too fast for conditions in this neighborhood. And when he approached the vehicle, Mr. Adams was a little bit rude to the officer that night, and he was not very happy that he was being pulled over for a stop sign violation and basic rules. So Officer Schaefer gave him 2 tickets, one for the stop sign and one for the basic rules violation, too fast for conditions. And then Officer Schaefer went back to his patrol car and was getting into his car, and Mr. Adams peeled out on his exit from the traffic stop, spun his tires on the road in frustration. And so at that point, Officer Schaefer initiated a secondary traffic stop and charged Mr. Adams with driving in a circular or zigzag course laying drags. We've made numerous attempts at negotiations. This case has appeared on citation calendar in the past, and we've never been able to reach a resolution. But this did occur inside of Fulton County in the Westlake neighborhood of Atlanta, at the intersection of Callaway and Westlake Road. What else would you like from me?
A recommendation?
Yes, yes, Your Honor. So the state's recommendation would be 12 months probation. Well, I guess we can go count by count. Count 1, it would be 12 months probation, a $250 fine. Count 2 would be 12 months probation to run concurrent with an additional $250 fine. And count 3 would be 12 months probation to run concurrent and an additional $250 fine. So 3 separate fines, all the probation can be rolled together.
Okay. At some point, you all were going to null pros count 2, is that right?
Yes, we were, Your Honor. It was unclear about the laying drags, but when I spoke with the officer, he was able to articulate his memory of that count.
Ms. Shelley?
Thank you, Judge. We appreciate, let me take this mask off real quick. My client is here today. I will be honest with you, we just met for the first time today. We were originally going to plead to basic rules, but that offer was withdrawn due to the fact that apparently this case has been on the calendar over and over again. So my client is here. He denies the laying drag, but so we'll ask the court to accept the plea as non-negotiated on that. And we're also going to ask the court to provide him with just a $250 fine for all 3 counts. We're also asking the court to accept a NOLO plea. He hasn't had any traffic citations in the recent past at all. His previous conviction was from 2011. It seems to be a narcotics conviction, which could have been any type of narcotics, but that was 14 years ago or 13 years ago. I'm not very good at math. But his traffic record is fairly immaculate. So I'm asking the court to accept a no-low plea on this to avoid his insurance going up and a $250 fine for all 3 counts. We're willing to accept the probation and early termination upon successful completion of the terms.
Okay, so he is willing to accept the, if he pleads no-low, the, lane drags charge?
Unfortunately, it seems we have to. Otherwise, we'd be going to court to trial today. And according to counsel, officer remembered everything perfectly. So if the court is able to dismiss that charge, of course, I would, ask. I don't think that's in the court's purview. Therefore, maybe an Alfred plea on that. It is what it is, Judge. This morning, we were going to trial on a stop sign.
I think, if there's nothing further from council. Anything further from anyone? Before I take,
Your Honor, I think I misread the traffic history, when I spoke with Miss Shelley. There's a NOLO plea for a, controlled substance charge from 2011, but there are numerous other traffic offenses. She asked me specifically about a NOLO plea. And so we do have a significant traffic history for this defendant.
okay, but he hasn't used a no-low in the last 5 years on any of those traffic offenses?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, so I think what I'm gonna do, given the age of the case, and that you all have been trying to negotiate, if you want to accept, I will allow him to plead no-low to all 3 charges. And the fine for each charge would be $100, which would make it a total of a $300 fine. Okay.
Thank you,
I
Judge.
think that would, in my opinion, be fair. He's charged with all of them. He uses his no-low that he can't use again for the next 5 years. And we move on to the next case. Okay, is that something that Mr. Adams is willing to accept?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's see. Will you be able to pay the fine today? Okay, so you're gonna need time to pay?
30 days,
Pay the
we're asking
fine.
for 30.
30 days.
Okay, so given that you can't pay today, I'm gonna have to place you on probation until you can get the fine paid. So, but once you pay the fine, then the probation will terminate, okay?
Okay.
All right. Okay, anything further before I take the plea?
No, Your Honor, we
Okay.
appreciate it.
Mr. Adams, it's my understanding that in case 22CR007132, you wish to plead no-low to failure to obey stop sign, lane drags, and basic rule too fast for conditions. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this afternoon?
No, sir.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with her representation?
I am.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on these charges, and that by pleading no-low to them, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Okay.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead
No.
no-low? Okay. I will accept your plea, Mr. Adams. Let's see. Sentence will be 12 months probation, $100 fine on each charge. Probation will terminate upon payment of the fines. Okay? We will give you where you need to report to probation. I'll ask that you report within the next 2 weeks, and the sooner you get it paid, the sooner, you won't be on probation. I didn't ask you, but, given that you're gonna need time to pay the fine, would you rather do community service as opposed to paying the fine? You'll pay the fine, okay. All right,
Honesty is the best policy.
I wanted to give him the option, if I know people are having difficult times these days. Okay,
Thank you,
all
Judge.
right, anything further, we'll give you where you need to go.
Can I ask something? Can I pay something now?
They don't.
I gotta pay the whole thing
They
at
don't
once.
take partial, right, payment, so, all right.
Wait for the
but-
paperwork to get processed.
Okay,
Okay,
Yeah, we don't even have the systems up now.
okay.
thank you. Good luck to you, sir. May,
Excuse me, Your Honor.
yes,
I just wanted to see if I could get Attorney Shelley's full name, please, and the spelling of her last name.
Yes, ma'am. It's Karen, Karen, Shelley, Shelley.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
okay, anything further this afternoon from anyone? All right, we'll see you all tomorrow. Y'all have a good evening. Thank you, Ms. Greenhouse. We appreciate your help today.
Thank you, Judge Morrow. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.